Grimcast Manila is a podcast of creepy stories from around the metro. I'm your scaredy cat host, Antoinette, and I love a good ghost story. In the next couple of episodes, we're talking to people who have open, active third eyes. People who see, hear, feel, and basically live with our dear ghostly friends. Welcome to the third season of Grimcast Manila, lovingly called Third Eye, Not Blind. This time we're talking to RM. RM is a writer working in public health, specifically in social media for public health. Welcome to the show, RM.
Hey, it's nice to be here. I'm with my daughter, so if the audience hears like little noises, it's just her complaining.
Yes, it's completely not paranormal.
Yeah. It's just her being her normal self. Normal self.
So, yes. So getting right into it, I mean, like, what started your interest in stuff like this, dark and spooky?
I guess we have a creepy family. My mom's side of the family, we're all pretty much have a third eye. It's kind of an inheritance that you get. So depending on, you get like a certain skill set. There are like some people in our family who are stronger than others, more haunted than others, I guess is the term. And we're full of family stories of ghosts following you around or getting haunted. Or we have one auntie who had to, we joke that she had to move to another country because a ghost or a demon wouldn't stop following her around. And the only way you can break these things is by crossing water. At least that's what they say.
Like significantly big bodies of water?
Yeah, because they can't follow you over it.
She couldn't just cross a river?
Well, no, it's just like a family joke. but
okay.
But the stories are kind of legendary when it comes to her. So I'm actually the kulena, if you don't mind. Like I'm not in the run of the litter.
What?
Yeah.
Okay.
Because my sister had a really strong third eye to the point where my mom had to train her to stop following the ghost. Like she would see one
stop following them.
Yeah, she would see a ghost walk by and she would follow it to the next room.
As a child?
Yeah, as a child and as a teenager. And for example, for me, I don't see them often. I hear them a lot or I dream about them a lot, but I don't encounter them like in a very clear manner. It's always like a glimpse, something out of the corner of your eye, but I smell them pretty well and I hear them very well. So
interesting.
Yeah. So like to give you like a recent experience. I was pregnant. There's something about pregnancy that ramps up
all your senses, right?
Yeah, including I think like things, spirits or whatever they are, they're more aware of you. Or they're more aware of the baby. Or sometimes it's the baby that's strong. So I was home alone. So I'm in Baguio now. I grew up in Baguio, but I live in Manila with my partner. And we have a place in Paranaque. And I was alone. He had gone out to work or go to the gym, one of these two. And I distinctly heard him come in. And I distinctly heard him say, Rose. Like he said my name. And then I said, wait, because I was cooking. And in our house, there's a door between the kitchen and the living room. So you cannot see in. We keep it closed when we cook because of the smell or whatever. And, when you're really cooking or you're doing chores and someone's calling you and you're super, super annoyed. So it's like, wait, I'm coming. I open the door and the house is completely. The car isn't in the garage. Nothing. Like it was. And then I was like, oh no, because I hadn't had a really significant experience in a long time. So I think I was about maybe 3 or 4 months pregnant. So, and then like it started like this whole, like a ball rolling, I guess, if you talk about it, like it started this whole thing where it just got stronger and stronger.
Since then.
Yeah.
Well, let's go back a little bit. Like, when do you remember the first time you had a creepy encounter or something in relation to hearing or smelling something that kind of made you think that's not exactly right, or like that shouldn't be there?
Okay, like my mom's in the back, so she can in her family it's normal if you see a ghost.
Right.
They
Okay.
So for me, I don't remember seeing one or hearing one like a significant event because it always happens. And then like there's even techniques like, hey, my mom's here. So
Hi, tita.
there's techniques that she teaches you, like, oh, if you see the ghost, don't follow it, don't talk to it, don't encourage it because it will follow you, or don't play. You know what? Those games, like don't play Ouija board, don't play Spirit of the Ball Pen, don't draw them to you.
Right.
Like you're specifically not allowed to play these because that's how my auntie got haunted by that thing. They were playing Spirit of the glass broke. So they weren't able to seal the spirit back. Yeah, and she was hounded by it after that. Like she would take a shower with her clothes on. Like with her underwear, because she always felt that she was being watched by whatever the thing was. So
that's very inconvenient.
Yeah. So for me, I guess one of the most significant ones was I was a kid and our house is super cool. So our house was built in the 30s and it was a barracks during the war, World War II. And as a kid, I remember following a guy in our backyard. I saw this person and the person didn't look correct. So that's one thing with my third eye is when I see people, they don't look correct. They don't look like people. They look different. And what I mean by different is they look distorted. So some people, it's a different experience. Like they're glowy or faded, or for me, it's like when you look at something through a pane of glass, or when you look at something and it's underwater. That's what I think. So I remember being a kid, and I know this because I would write in my diary, and I wrote about it where I followed it to the end of our driveway, and then at the end of the driveway, I realized there's someone there. So yeah, and then as a teenager, I would hear them a lot coming home drunk. Because our house is like our house apparently is really haunted. So I would come home and I would hear a lot of whispering, but there would be nobody in the garden. Stuff like that.
Whispering of like drunk people?
No, like they whisper my name a lot. It's kind of like when you're, I guess the best way to describe it is when there's someone beside you and they're kind of like nakakbay. They have their arm around you and they're whispering in your ear. That's what it feels like when they talk to you. Or when they talk to you. Because I think it's different for everyone. So these are like small experiences that you would chalk up to nothing. And then later on, like talking to my sisters or talking to my mom, I realized, oh yeah, okay, sorry, that was a ghost. Because it's in your realm of reality, so you just accept it, I guess. And in our house, we were like super superstitious about stuff like this. Like we will not open the door at night. We will light all the candles during November 1. All our doors have the candle because we know that if not, it will be like a barrage of nothing at our house.
Right.
Because you'll be visited by spirits. And then we'll light candles for people who have passed away because if not, they'll come back. Stuff like that. So
like, and that's happened before?
Yeah, when we were kids, I tell you, I have so many stories. When we were kids, so my sister, my younger sister, not the one after me, because we're 3 girls, we used to share a room. And our room is, until now, right in front. Well, I sleep there now. Right in front of our front door. Our front door is 2 doors. There's a door that leads into what used to be a lanai, that's wood. And there was a heavier door with a deadbolt, like 3 or 4 deadbolts, made of a heavier wood. And a relative of ours died. And our dog used to sleep in that lanai, that place. So our dog was going crazy. The dog was barking. It's in the middle of the night. And the interior door was shaking. And it wasn't just shaking. It was like someone was standing in front of it and pounding it with their hand. And really like at night. And it was summer. We were already going to St. Paul. And my sister and I rushed out and we opened the door because our dog was going crazy. We had a little terrier at the time. And we were like, oh my God, we can't leave her there with whatever it is. And then my mom stormed out of the master bedroom, which is like 2 doors away. And she was like, do not open the door. It is a spirit. Like that. You let it in. You know,
so she could hear it from in there.
Yeah, she could hear it, but she wasn't paying attention to it. And then she was so mad at it. She was so angry at us. And then the next day, we found out that that relative of ours had died. And I remember my mom was like, that's why. She was so angry because we promised to visit her before this summer and we didn't. That's why she came by. And you let her in the house. And like our belief is if you let a spirit into your house, they kind of like hang around forever and it takes a lot to get them out.
Yeah.
You know, you have to do a lot of stuff just to get them out. And it's kind of hassle.
Right.
Yeah.
So it's more of your mom got pissed because of like, great, now we have to clean this up.
Yeah, and there wasn't like, oh, it's an intruder or it's a burglar or whatever. No, it was, you let the spirit in. Why did you open the door? You know? It's so proud.
Right.
Yeah. So
it's like growing up, it was basically just the norm.
Yeah, it was very House of the Spirits. But we didn't have like a lady floating around in a chair. You know, you didn't have a fire of our boy. And then
it wasn't like a whole magic realism situation. It was just realism.
Yeah, and you know, wherever we would go, it was really part of our lives. Like I remember in Manila, we were moving and my mom refused this house. Like she walked into the door and she's like, okay, no, somebody died here. We are not moving to this house. And like we ended up anyway in a very haunted condo. So it was like our whole lives, wherever we went, it kind of follows us around. To the point where one of my sisters, she says she doesn't hear or see or feel anything anymore because she consciously made an effort to not. Because you can close your own third eye if you want to. Like, you just shut it down. So I think that was something that she consciously did because she was really, really scared a lot as a kid because they would make appearances to her. And our ghosts in our house were like not for the weak. Because
what do you mean?
We have categories. So we have the Japanese soldier who walks around outside the house, which in Baguio legend means that there's treasure in your yard. But our fruitless as kids, we would like search for the treasure, but we never found it. I've never seen him.
Okay.
Other people have seen him. My grandma, whose portrait is kind of staring at me right now. Sorry, Lola. It's my grandma. And my dad.
Hi, nako, RM.
So,
like, I can hear it being like, hi, nako.
Yeah, well, I've never met. We've never met. He died before any of us were born. So my sister has seen her, and another person has seen her, who I never met before. He came over to our house and he was like, "Oh, I see your grandma is still around." And I was like, "No, she's not." He's like, "Yes, I know she's not around, but she's just saying hello." And I was just like, I don't know.
Great.
Yeah, because he had a strong. And then we have the headless man who will only appear to you if the house doesn't like you. Like, he would appear to like maids or helpers with evil intentions. They would only stay like a week or two because he would appear to them in the middle of the night. Like,
fun.
Yeah, like our helper would turn out the light. And then she would freak out because she could see him, but nobody else in the room could. Like that. And then,
so there would be other people in the room with her.
Yes.
While she's seeing him.
And
she's freaking out.
Yeah, no one would see him. I actually had one friend who left me the night because there's a second part of our house that used to be a garage, which was converted. And there's a ghost there who is very scary. I have seen that ghost a couple of times. But in a dream only. If he doesn't like you, he'll pull at your feet while you're sleeping in the bed, in the guest, what used to be the guest bedroom. So he would pull at your feet. And I had one friend who would be like, he rapped on the door of my room and he was like, I'm going home because this is too much. I can't. This is too creepy. So he went home to somewhere else.
So he actually he preferred to leave your house in the dead of the night than stay there.
Yeah, and then I think the master ghost is this thing called the crawler. So we call it the crawler because obviously it crawls. And none of us, I have never seen it, but it's like people have seen it but not realized that it's a ghost. Like we had one relative who came, like it was Christmas or Easter, and everybody, in the grand tradition of all Filipino families, everybody goes to your house for the summer. And you all have the Easter.
It's Baguio.
Yeah. And then the other relative come down and say, last night you were so considerate. While we were all sleeping, you were crawling around on the floor trying to be quiet. And everyone was like, no one was there. Like things like that. Like it's just
that's really freaking scary.
Yeah. And then we're like, what do you mean? And then she was like, no, because last night I was half asleep and I saw all your relatives. When you put all the mattresses on the floor and everybody's sleeping there because you're all sharing the room and everything. And this particular person was like, oh, but you were kind of crawling over the bed. So I was kind of wondering why, but I figured you were just trying to be quiet. And then all of us were just like crickets, okay.
Yeah, Tita, sure. And then as soon as she leaves, well, that wasn't us.
Yeah, seriously, that wasn't us. It was no one. And other people have seen.
Has anybody ever seen this crawler?
Yeah.
Anybody else?
I think so, but it's from another story that was told to me. I've never really seen it because I belong in the house.
Sure.
It appears to people who
don't belong there or are visiting.
Yeah, and despite that, it's like a combination of all of us are pretty sensitive, and then the house is pretty haunted. I know it's all choppy, but it's all these different memories. One time, my mom called me up, so I went to UP Baguio, which is here, also haunted. And my mom calls me up one day, and I remember my phone was even a Nokia 1101, don't know the flashlight.
Yeah.
And then she's so mad at me. She's like, hi, why? She said it in Philippines. She's like, bakit ka nagdadabog sa taas? And it's like, why are you stomping around upstairs in your room? Opening the closet and slamming it and opening the drawers and slamming it. Don't you, what are you doing? Are you cleaning up? It's just very angry. I was like, Mom, I'm in school. I'm not.
And she goes.
And she was like, oh, okay, did you know?
All right, cool. No, I guess it wasn't you then.
Yeah, because that's her rule. You don't follow it. If you see something out of the ordinary, don't follow it. Don't try to catch its attention. Don't. And then the opposite of that is, what if it starts to follow you and you don't know why? So that's happened. And for me, I actually had a friend go through something where her third eye is opening and they're kind of following her. And I said, okay, so she was asking for a bit of advice about it. And I said, you have to be pretty strong with whatever you believe in. Doesn't matter what it is. You can believe in crystals, you can believe in the spaghetti monster, Cthulhu. What matters is you have that core, or else they'll end up really following you around and kind of messing up your life.
Right.
And there are a lot of kind of bad ones around, and there are good ones who follow you, there are bad ones who follow you. And I think that's one of the reasons why the third eye becomes really popular in the Philippines, because a lot of people, they encounter something and they don't know what to do because they've never really developed or meditated about it, even encountered anything kind of it in their lives. So it becomes
right. Or maybe they don't have that support system that you do, where you have your mom kind of telling you, all right, this is what you do.
Right.
And
I actually had a mentor in college who kind of helped me figure out like what to do, because like every girl who was like watching the craft, I decided, yes, I'm going to be a witch. And, I started messing around with all these candles and crystals and all these weird little spells that don't really do anything except alert other things that you're interested in. And they start to kind of, show up. And, eventually I found like what my balance was, where I wouldn't be, how do you say this? I wouldn't be too attacked a lot, or I wouldn't get followed a lot, or get sick. My mom would always make some dude come over who would put towels under my bed or do some sort of ritual to kind of cast the spirits or whatever anitos off me, because they would say that I was gala. Like, I like to wander around and go places, so they would follow me back home or stuff like that. And my sorority sister in college once told me, because she had a very strong prayer, and she was like, there's a dude who follows you around, like, who's not alive. And I was like, yeah, he smoked. And then she was like, yes, he's always in our meetings in the back. And I was like, yeah, the smoking guy, yeah. Because he was a ghost that lived in my bedroom in Makati. And when
he went up to Baguio with you?
He followed me. And I see him a lot, actually. I haven't seen him in years. But I used to see him like at night, half asleep. I'd turn over and I'd see like someone smoking on my back. So it's like, what the hell, guys?
But I'm guessing this particular ghost was pretty chill, or like didn't really bother you that much, aside from the smoking, maybe?
Well, I don't know. My partner says that he is like one of those ghosts who's possessive, but I haven't seen him in a long time. So I don't know if he's gone or if I'm just not as power. I mean, it's not power. It's like more like I'm just not as aware, because
or maybe he approves of your partner now. I don't know.
Or my partner's actually very spiritually solid, so they kind of bounce off him, I think. I don't know. For me personally, in our house, it's kind of like an inherited trait, I think. That
it's almost genetic.
Perhaps. We don't know. It could be just a gene that you have or whatever. But like when I got pregnant, that's when it really like ramped up for me. When I was younger, it was more like, a glimpse here, a glimpse there. Like, I just saw the dancing ghost. We have a dancing ghost in our kitchen. A girl. Like,
really?
Yeah, you always see her dancing. Or you see like in UP, I would see ghosts, or one of the scarier experiences for me was, you see, when you have a third eye, it all muddles into each other because you've had it for so long. So,
and there's so many.
Yeah, so if you've ever worked in a call center, there's a sleep room. If you have a shift, you can take your lunch and sleep in the sleep room. And our sleep room, our call center doesn't exist anymore. People support. And the building is beside where SM Baguio is now. And that hill, SM Baguio Hill, Meta Hill, it used to be a hotel called Times. And that hotel burned down before the earthquake. And it's supposed to be really haunted. Like, people tell stories about like walking by it and smelling burnt flesh and all that stuff. And personally, I never really experienced anything really bad there, except in the sleep room. I went to take a nap, and something sat beside me, and like loomed, like when somebody does this, like when you're sleeping and puts its face next to you, and I was like, all the hair in my body stood up, and I said, okay, whatever you are, just go away. I'm not feeling,
trying to nap here.
Yeah, I'm not feeling this right now. And the thing answered. Said no way, like in a not in like a creepy voice. It was like no, in a very normal, very human voice. But the sleep room in that place was super small. There's only room for one person. If the door had opened, I would have. So yeah, and the entire time I was there, it just stayed beside me. And it really didn't want to leave. And I remember being really freaked out about it and getting really angry because I really needed that nap. Yeah, the long shift and of being like, damn it, like, I need that nap. Yeah, so, and lots of stories in that place where people would go into a training room and they'd see the chairs spinning around, like someone had been there, etc. And whoever that thing was would follow me. Like, I was a closer. So we were at a 24-hour call center. We closed at 10 a.m. every day. So my shift was 12 to 10. And I was a trainer. So I would close and then I would send a report to the forecast people every day. And one time I was there, click, sending the report. And I was alone. It was like rows and rows and rows and rows of computers and nothing and no one. And, click, 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 la, la, la. And then we were a financial accountant. We weren't allowed to play music or do anything like that. It was just really all business. And something came up behind me and breathed on my neck. Like really long. Like, and I was just, oh my God, shut down. I ran out. I remember I ran out of and then the guard was like, oh, man, are you okay? And I was like, okay lang. Apparently I was like sweating and really white as a sheet. And like I had left all my things in the and I was like, okay, please come with me because it happened.
And he was just so used to it.
Yeah, and I don't know. Actually, I don't like talking about it with people. Like my mom says,
right.
If you keep talking about it, it will follow you. And like our office, so the office that I work in is somewhere. And I have a witness for this to my office mate. So we have a gym on site, and I would go take a shower.
Oh, your office now?
Yeah, my office now. And yeah, so wherever I go, basically the ghosts will follow. I don't know if you know that song, the Paper Dress song. Wherever you go, the ghosts will follow. And I guess I just have a lot of experiences wherein I actually write about, like, one of the stories, books, whatever I'm working on is something similar to this to us. But the thing is, I keep pulling from what we experience in real life. So I'm waiting for all my relatives to die so that they don't lynch.
Or they will.
Anyway, yeah. Yeah. You know, sometimes they're good news. So one of my aunts has a really strong, super strong third eye. And
right.
They had a house ghost. So the house ghost, that's a nice concept. It's a ghost who lives in your house but likes you a lot and protects you.
Okay. Oh, that's lovely.
Yeah, and one of the signs that you're pretty strong in our house, in our family, is when you're a little kid, you talk to things that aren't there. So her son, for example, would talk to things that aren't there. Mimi, when I was in Peru, would talk to something that wasn't there in the corner of the ceiling and freak me out.
Your daughter right now, and she's like an infant.
Yeah. So one night she heard the ghost, and she heard. Yeah, my aunt. So she lives in Pampanga, and the car alarm went off. And apparently, someone had broken into her house, but nothing was stolen. Oh, and she thinks it's because the spirit that lived in her house scared them away. So
the house ghost was like, "No, you don't.
My house, not in my. You shall not pass." None of that stuff. Although, like, my mom has a lot of stories as well in Pampanga because it's hella haunted. But most of them, like, my mom's stories were more about, like, the anitos and the lamandupa, you know, those kinds of spirits.
Like elementals?
She's pretty strong in that. Like, my mom, when she was a kid, every night at 2 a.m., they would find her sitting near their front door. And she was really young, like 5, 6, 8, something like that. And my grandma would be like, "What are you doing?" And my mom would be like, "I'm guarding the house from the thing outside." And then she wouldn't remember. Huh. So
she wouldn't remember the next day doing that?
Yeah, she wouldn't remember, but she would do it every night, basically. She was the house, I guess. If you remember that. bantay. Yeah. So,
So
yeah, go ahead.
one of the things that you mentioned earlier was that when you're followed, there are good things that follow you and there are bad things or bad spirits or whatever. Have you had a specific experience with one of each?
Oh yeah. Okay, so the most recent one was in our house in Parañaque. So that was what started it. The one who would call my name while I was in the kitchen. So when I was pregnant, I had a difficult pregnancy, so I was on bed rest a lot, and I was alone a lot because my partner had to go work. You know, get stuff. He couldn't be with me the whole day, and sometimes he would come back late in the evening. And when we moved into that place, it kind of really amped up, and I think I was around 5 or 6 months pregnant, and I kept sensing something following me around. And the house that we moved into is quite old also. It's about 30 years old. And so maybe built in the 50s. Is my math correct? Maybe, yeah. I'm not sure. And so I would find myself like doing stuff like cleaning and constantly checking over my shoulder, which is like a sign that you're being followed. And I kept feeling like something was watching me. And you know, I was chalking it up to maybe it's just lack of sleep, which was like foolish because I was pregnant, so I was sleeping up. And one night, I had to go to the washroom, and the washroom isn't en suite. It's like you have to go from the bedroom and walk through the living room to the bathroom. And I finally saw it. So it was a very huge spirit, and I remember being shocked because, yeah. I remember being really shocked because I hadn't seen one that well since I was maybe in college. And it was so big that its shoulders and its head were pressed up against the ceiling.
Okay.
And I remember like backing away from it and thinking, oh my God. And thinking, why is it so big? And then why did my partner leave the light on? Because he left the light on so I could see it very clearly. You know, if I'd walked by it in the dark, I wouldn't have seen it. But because he had left the light on for me, because I was pregnant, and you know, I was big enough that I would have, if I tripped, it would have been a problem. And then it was just there. Like I even remember like thinking, he's not actually that tall. It's just our ceilings are very, very small. Like our ceilings are low, so he must have been about 7 feet. And I couldn't see his face. It's dark, like shadow, and it followed me, like the gaze followed me.
And it was definitely like a guy?
Yeah, it was a guy. And I think I actually know who it is. I would say, but it's not related to me. It's related to the landlord of the house. That's the feeling that I got from it. Like, and it wasn't really evil or anything. It was just very, very curious about me being pregnant. And then after that, I kept seeing, like, I would be alone in the house, I'd see it. I'd be alone in the house, I'd see it. And I would ask my partner, like, can you see it? Have you seen it? I saw this ghost. And then he would say, no, I didn't see it. So I was like, why is he showing himself to me? And I remember I was like very anxious during my pregnancy, and I would have anxiety attacks. And like,
I remember.
It was just getting really, really bad. And then to the point where, so you're from St. Paul. I looked for my Benedictine medal.
Yeah.
Because I have one. Like every St. Paul group, I have one.
We all have one.
Yeah, we have a lot. But I have kept one in my wallet for many, many years.
Same.
And it's the same one that I've had since like third year high school or whatever. And
awesome.
I brought it out and I started wearing it because I was like freaking out. And then I kept feeling like other things were following me around. And then I'll tell you the
aside
story
from that really tall guy ghost?
Yeah, like I kept feeling like, no, I'm not sure. Okay, there's a point where I'm not sure if it was a ghost or if it was really my anxiety already because I was pregnant. And then I went to Peru, right? So I had the whole Peru adventure. And my Airbnb in Peru didn't disclose that it's right in the middle of the funeraria district of Lima.
District?
It's like a total
So
district.
it's a
Like,
whole district.
yes, like so I get out of the cab and I look at the Airbnb. I got a room stay first before I moved to an apartment. And it was littered next to a funeraria. It was like coffins outside in the street on display. And then like one stop shop, you can walk down the street and get the flowers. And then you can walk down the street and get the notario who signed the death certificate. And then you walk down the street and it's another funeral. And then you walk down the street and it's another. And it's not like the Philippine funeral home. It's kind of
like one in each barangay or something. Yeah.
Yeah, or like this one, like the coffins are outside. It's like they're for sale. Like all of the coffins. And then
they're like literally being hawked as goods.
Yes. And I had like a major freak out. I didn't move yet.
I can imagine.
Yeah. And then the dream started. So I started having nightmares. A lot of nightmares of these things pressing up against the bars of my room, of the windows. And then I stopped going out. Like I wouldn't go out at night because I was just, Lima is not that safe. And also because I was just freaking out. And I never removed the Benedictine medal. I would wear it even in the shower. I'd wear it. I would wear it. I just never took it off. And then I even drew it broke because there's a point where it broke and that was a super bad sign. And I fixed it. I fixed the pendant and the chain that I was wearing on was broke. And then I had to fix the pendant and it was like so bad. And it was all like bad juju for me. And then I moved apartments and you're okay. And then my daughter got really sick and she had to be hospitalized. And there's a night where it's like I felt like for the first time in my life, like there was an attack. Like a lot of people would talk about it to me before, that spiritual attack. And I'd be like, whatever, don't believe that. So it just goes.
Mm-hmm.
And I had a dream, and the dream was so vivid. There was a person on top of me. It wasn't a person. It smelled like a river. Like, when the river is damp and rotting and there's like leaves on top of the water. And it was dripping water on my head. And I could smell it in the dream. And when I woke up, the thing was still there.
What?
And I remember, like the sensation of it could have been sleep paralysis, right? It could have, sure. But it was dripping water on me and I could see its hair and it had like braids and dreadlocks and I could see like its hand or its arm. And I remember praying. I remember that I really prayed. Like, and I couldn't in the beginning. I was like that. And I was like, oh my God, I had all these thoughts, sleep paralysis. When I finished the prayer, it's bad. And then I was alone, so I called my partner who's here in the Philippines and I told him about it. And it was just baffling because, number one, Peru is a desert. So why a river? Right? Sure. Where did I pick that up from? Maybe it was someone who drowned. Who knows? But it was so scary. And what I did right after that is I called the priest. I talked to the nun in the hospital. And I asked her to get baptized. By that time, she was already on her way to recovery. And they had offered to have her baptized. But it wasn't urgent. So the priest said, you can do it in like somewhere else. But I the next day I talked to the nun who was in charge of the hospital. And then I asked her, please, can I have my daughter baptized? And I told her about it. I told her this is what happened to me last night and I'm so afraid and all of that. And, at the time I was very, very, very vulnerable and very, very tired. So that's a big factor when you have a third eye. Like if you're not right in the head, if you're drunk, if you're tired.
When your guard is down, basically.
Yeah. And my guard was super down. I remember that night, it was New Year. It was New Year's.
Mm-hmm.
I remember because I watched the fireworks before going to bed. I think, yeah. But sometimes it moves. And then, so I had her baptized and everything stopped. Like, the day after got baptized, I think the 2nd or the 3rd of January. And then everything just stopped. Like, it just stopped. Like, every night, even before I flew to Peru, I was having, like, not bad dreams, but like uneasiness. And then it just got worse and got worse. And then being in the funeraria district didn't make it any easier. Better. Like, what? It's smack dab in the middle of this this place. And I remember being so angry at the girl because I would have never booked their room if I had known. You know?
Of course.
And you know, I'm not very, very good at planning. So I didn't do that thing that most OC people do where when you have an Airbnb, you like Google Maps it and then you check everything around it.
Well, to be fair, I don't do that either.
Well, now I do because...
Okay, now I definitely will.
Yeah, and I remember...
Like, was it like particularly a cheap place or something?
It was okay. It looked better than it was. You know, it was...
So, I mean, like, price-wise?
Yeah. About 15K a month. It was okay. And I got blinded by the description where it was like, oh, right in the middle of this district, it's walking distance from this park, and
Mm-hmm.
You know, but it was a lie. And then I remember it was very dirty too, so that contributed a lot to it. Like, I remember flying in and then like cleaning the place. And like, it took me a while to find a suitable replacement that I felt would be better than what I had. And I was like super paranoid about it. So I researched the area first extensively. Like, just to check, like, am I going to a better place, or am I going to end up in another funeraria district? Who knows? Maybe Lima has to. Yeah. So it was really like a freak out place.
I can imagine. And like, I have a couple of questions actually. Like, you said that early on when you got there, it felt like there were things like pressing up against the bars and kind of just trying to look in, or like, what was like that experience, or like, were they trying to get your attention, or?
Okay, so when you have like a third eye, that's what it feels like. It always feels like something's trying to get your attention, especially in loaded places, like old places.
Funeraria district.
Funeraria district. So it's full of energy or whatever. So, and they know that you can see them, I guess. Which is why my mom always says, never follow them. So they'll try to appear to you and they'll try to say hello. And they'll have all sorts of different intentions. And it's something that you can't really discern because their intentions are not your intentions.
Sure.
Because you're alive. So you have different, or you're not a Bucanto, or you're not an elemental. You have a different perspective. You live on a different plane, I guess. I don't know. When I was younger, I did a lot of research into this because it genuinely fascinated me and then it freaked me out. And what I ended up doing was just attracting more ghosts towards me. So I stopped because it was just freaking me out. Like, I remember I researched white noise. I researched all of these things that I remember my mom looking at me and being like, what? I told you not to support me.
You're asking for it.
Yeah. And I'm a Catholic. So I also believe in like that part of it, which is a weird mix. So like, I would listen to, and this was like the time of dial-up internet and live journal. I would listen to EVPs and recordings of exorcisms and just freak myself out. And,
download them from the LimeWire.
Yeah, and then like play them at night and then like deleting them and then like, I don't know, salting the windows or whatever because I would freak myself out. And, I would, especially when I was like a teenager, because I didn't think about the consequences. I would do a lot of things that may have attracted them more. And at the time, I think also because I was a teenager, it was very strong. So I would constantly be seeing things out of the corner of my eye. And me and my sisters would constantly tell each other stories about it because we enjoyed it. There's an element of, you know, like,
Ooh.
and then we would spend Easter, Good Friday, and ghost stories, our legendary family ghost stories. Because we have huge collection of everybody's different experiences, of different ghosts, different times, and why they follow you around. And you just add your own, So, but I didn't expect that, like, my culmination was that. And I remember I was so afraid that I was crying when I woke up. And and then I remember groping at the side table and I didn't wear my Benedictine medal to bed.
Oh.
I had taken it. I was probably very tired and I'd taken it off and put it beside me, but I didn't put it back on.
Wear it.
Yeah. And then after that, I slept with a Benedictine medal, a rosary, and a little baby Jesus that somebody gave me in the hospital, like a little figurine, because I was like stacking it up because it was
all the things that can help.
Yeah, and that thing that attacked me it didn't say a thing. Just kind of loomed over me and dripped on me and breathed. And
breathe.
It smelled, breathe, which is weird. And it smelled so bad. It smelled like
sewage?
No, like, when there's a river in like the province and the river is full of dead leaves and dead things and it's stagnant. Been a while, and then it's thick and viscous. That's what it smelled like, and that's what it felt like. And I think thinking back, I think it was a female, but I'm not really sure. Like that part of sometimes what you can feel. Also, you feel like, oh, this is a human, this is a girl, this is a boy, and then sometimes you think this was not anything ever. It's just something,
right?
Like it's something. Something else. So, so yeah, those were, I think, for me, I can tell the listeners that it's probably a caveat. I was not in the best emotional state. It could have been sleep paralysis, but I have never had sleep paralysis my entire life. Never. And dreams for me are like where I'm really the most powerful with the third eye. So I think it was out to get my daughter. I really think so, because after I baptized her, everything stopped. Everything, even the looming ghosts. And when we came back to the Philippines, the ghost that was in our house was gone. I remember because I walked around the house looking for it. Because at the house,
the tall guy,
yeah, he was gone, or he was no longer interested, which is a scarier thought for me.
Why?
No longer cured. Well, I don't know if it's the same, but in Catholic belief, until your kid is baptized, they're like an empty vessel. They're like easy prey, right? So that's why you baptize.
Yeah.
But like I bet some people are like recoiling for the saying this, but that's part of why you baptize them. It's not so their souls don't go to limbo or whatever, if limbo even exists, but it's really to protect them from the things that are out there that might
or have have terrible intentions.
Yeah, and it's like a barrier between that and until they can make their own choices about whatever they believe in. So, like, for me, my whole life, I even saw ghosts in Saints. Like,
yeah, I was about to say that high school must have been great for you.
Oh, just the back of the biolab.
Yeah. So the biolab, the one with the little pond in the middle with the turtles and stuff.
Yeah, and then the one near.
Or do you mean the physics lab?
Yeah, the one near the physics lab, right? There's like a creepy bathroom with really tall doors. Oh, that's
tall doors and mirrors ripped out from the walls. There used to be mirrors there and that they were taken off.
Yeah. And I remember, but I remember seeing a lot of nuns that weren't there and stuff. But for me, Saints Ko didn't feel that scary. And also, since I was a kid, it wasn't. It was more like an adventure to me than a scary thing. I don't know if you know what I mean. It was,
Yeah. No, I do.
like,
I
we
think
would
it's
go
like,
ghost hunt.
of course.
Yeah.
And like in
You
all
know?
the years that I was there, and I'm sure a lot of Bulasa listeners out there, like you would get the heebie-jeebies once in a while, but you wouldn't feel like anything particularly evil or wanting to get you.
Yeah.
Well,
I
I hope not for anybody else.
I remember we had like as a collective experience in the little theater,
Of course.
where we were practicing and it was an empty theater and somebody laughed, but no one was there. But now that I'm older, I wouldn't put it past like some janitor or like some
Sure.
dude like creeping out this bunch of like 10-year-old, 12-year-old girls. Because I would do that. I'm an adult.
No,
You know?
I mean, this is not the first thing I'm hearing about the Little Theater. So, I mean, just for the people listening out there, the Little Theater is on the 4th floor
Yeah,
of the grade
grade
school building.
school building.
And it's just like,
Yeah.
it's basically at the end of the hall. It's this huge theater where, all the kids put on their like little plays and stuff. The parents come watch. It's where you practice things, like you practice either being on stage or doing like the set, or for some
Yeah.
people even doing the sound on like the little mezzanine area where there's like this little sound booth, and you practice like all the tech stuff that goes into the play. And that particular area of the theater was so
It's super
creepy.
Yeah. But as I said in the beginning, I am the runt of our little walk. So I didn't really have a very, very strong experiences comparable to my sisters. And my mother, and my aunties. One of my sisters would see corpses in our bathroom in
Oh
Makati.
my.
Yeah,
Corpses?
like there was a thing, corpse man in the bathroom, and she was very young, she was still in grade school, and she would say and tell people about it, and she would say he's stuck in there, or tell us that he was in the shower, but she didn't
What?
have yet, yeah, and she didn't have yet the ability to really fully articulate what she was seeing, or she did. I don't know if
Right.
this was the youngest sister. I forget which one of them it was, but to the point where they would never take a bath in that bathroom ever.
Fair
Never.
enough.
Or if they had to, like, there would be a fit of some sort.
Right.
Yeah, so like I would just hear them or smell them. My grandma especially, I would smell her a lot. Her perfume, her roses, because she was a very devout woman, particularly fond of Mama Mary. So, sometimes on her
What does
day
that
of
have
death,
to do with roses?
Mama Mary's symbol is roses, and her smell
Mhm.
is roses. So on her death day, before, especially when you're young, sometimes the house would smell like roses, but they didn't
kind of
know
lovely.
why. Yeah, because they said she was coming to visit or check out, whatever. So
So that's really interesting because like it seems like when it smells good, it's kind of like a positive thing, but when it smells bad, like a dead river or something terrible, it's sort of ominous.
I think it depends. Yes, well, basically yes, but it depends on your level of experience. Like
What do you mean?
for me, it's really my sensitivity is towards smell and hearing, and I rarely see them.
Mhm. And when you do, it's a pretty rare, like it's pretty vivid.
Yeah,
Experience.
or a brief one. Like I actually just saw them, and then my sister was like, yeah, they've been kind of active. I don't know why, but there's no real reason for it. Like it's not like, oh, there's gonna be something bad's gonna happen, or no.
Or
It's
like
really
they're
just-
trying to tell you something, a message
Not
from
really.
beyond. Like sometimes it doesn't even mean anything.
Yeah, sometimes they're just there, and I kind of believe in that theory where if an event happens in an area, there's a echo of it, of the energy, and it stays. And some people are more sensitive to it than others. So sometimes, what you experience or what I experience may not even be directed at me. It's just me like walking through an event. Yeah. And I've talked to other people who have guys, and they confirmed similar experiences, but some of them they really actively seek these experiences. Like, Baguio is very haunted. There's the earthquake. And, my mom's third eye was so strong that every time we drive through the curve of where Hyatt fell, she would close her eyes.
Right.
Because she's so afraid of, like, seeing the spirit of the dead from the earthquake, from the hotel.
So even for your mom that has sort of lived this her whole life, it's still something that scares her or freaks her out?
Yeah. We both love horror, but only when it's not towards us. You get it, like,
fair enough.
It's enjoyable when it's happening to someone else, and it's a movie, but like it's not something that you actively seek. And I remember as a teenager that the more in turmoil I was, the more they'd appear to me because they kind of knew. And as a teenager, I was like really, really effed up, so I would do a lot of stuff that would get me into trouble and be in a lot of places where I shouldn't have been in the first place. So I was basically like broadcasting to them that I was troubled and whatever. But now, when I was pregnant, I was really shocked. Like for me, I remember I messaged a friend of mine, a mentor of mine in college, because I was like, why is it so strong? Why? And he said, well, for one, you're really, really anxious. And secondly, you're pregnant. So
what does that have to do with that?
Well, they're dead, so they're attracted to life, and you're making it. You're carrying it. You've made it, and you're sheltering it until it arrives. So that's what he said. And then I really feel like my daughter was the target of whatever that thing was, because I haven't really experienced anything bad since, except dreaming of a friend of mine who had passed away. And in the dream, it was more of everything's going to be okay message. So,
okay. From that friend.
From that friend. He's like, it's all going to be good. But not in that sense where he was like, hey, it's going to be good. My dreams are
like
quite
the feeling that it was giving you.
Yeah, it was a very happy dream. And, if they're, I don't know if you're playing this part, if you're like a kid and you're trying to open your third eye, and you're reading about it and you want to open it, I'm going to stop. But they've offered to open it more. I've had people offer to open mine more, bigger, strong. And I've always refused, because if I'm the runt of the litter and I get this freak out, what more people who are super strong,
right?
One of the scariest experiences I ever had was in my office gym. I was taking a shower, and something came into the shower, and I could smell it. And I actually posted about it in Best of the Best. It smelled very, and very bad, and very evil. And I ran out of the shower with shampoo still in my hair. I wiggled my dress. Yes. And I was wearing a dress, so I wiggled into it. I didn't even zip it. I grabbed all my gym stuff. It was in our gym. And I ran down, and my office mate was still there. It was like 8 p.m. And she was
you
like,
were dripping
what's wrong? I was dripping wet. I still had shampoo in my hair, and my dress was like, that's how freaked out I got. And I'm not even, I could tell you, if you want a third eye, good luck. You better be hardcore.
Because you don't know what's going to come in or what's going to show up, right?
Yeah. I mean, growing up in a haunted house, basically, it's okay for me because it's our house. But I walked into other people's haunted houses. And it's not a good thing. It's not a good experience at all. It's not fun. It's fun to tell the stories. But it's not fun to be in it And I love horror.
Yeah.
I write horror. Okay. I'm sorry, it's so random.
No.
One of the most lucid experiences I had was I was washing dishes in my auntie's house, and she has a window over the kitchen. No, here in Baguio.
Okay.
So it's 2 houses up the street around the same age, also haunted.
Mm-hmm.
And I was washing the dishes in her sink. There's a window that looks out into the garden, and there's a staircase leading down from the house above.
Mm-hmm.
And this guy walked by. I was watching this. And he just looked like every other guy on the planet Earth. I waved to him.
Sure.
He waved back. And when he walked by, I was like, who's that? Like that. That's what life is like with the third eye, because that wasn't a guy, it was a ghost.
Right. So we've kind of gone into this whole this cautionary tale for people who do want to like maybe explore it or like open it. But there are, let's say, other people who have it and don't want it. And I remember you mentioning earlier where your sister, it bothered her to a point where she was like, I don't want this anymore. And she like actively closed it. Like how does one go about that?
I don't know how she did it. She said to me before, like, she was like, I don't see them anymore. I don't know why. But I know she stopped following them. She used to follow them around. And then I know that there are ways to close it. I'm not familiar with how. I do know how to like stop it from getting worse, but it really depends on how you deal with stuff. Like for me, what really helped was to be a better Catholic, to pray more
Sure.
and to be more God-centered, as opposed to like Wicca and crystals and the craft thing.
Mm-hmm.
Because that just ended up attracting more the same. But like one of the ways that I felt really helped me and me my daughter get through what we went through when she got sick was I really felt the opposite passion. So the opposite, one of the things about what I was saying was, with Peru was, I had that experience with the bad thing. But I also had the other thing where
okay,
the entire time I was sick was maybe the second time in my life that I felt the presence of the overall good. Whatever your belief
what do you mean
is.
by that?
Like
Okay.
whatever your belief is, the deity that is all good.
Mm-hmm.
I felt it talaga. Like it was something for me that was okay. Wherever I went, there were messengers, and people know this about me. I always say this whenever you ask something, and whenever you're dabbling into things that aren't good for you, you have to watch out for messengers.
What does that mean?
People will come to you and tell you about what you're seeing. When my daughter got sick, I kept meeting people who helped me.
Mm-hmm.
And it's not anything to do with my third eye or whatever. But they kept showing up. And a simple thing like somebody helping me translate a line or to a nurse who couldn't understand English, to me really feeling the presence of my belief or the good that I believe in. I really felt, for me, I really felt the presence of Mama Mary. And I've always had a thing for Mama Mary. I've always...
Like your grandmother?
I don't know. But for me, ever since
Okay.
Saint Paul, like, she was the one I talked to in the chapel in Saint Paul. The chapel in the gate one.
Yeah.
Anyway, there's a really pretty statue of her there.
Yeah.
So, same thing. Like, I remember when I first got sick, I sat down in the waiting room and I looked to the right and there was a statue of Mama Mary.
Mm-hmm.
And, the first night was really hard. I didn't know what was wrong with her. And she was having seizures. But I was like, that night I really felt another presence. Like, I don't always just feel the bad stuff. Like, but that time was the first time I really felt like the good and something really good. Because there are people who have third eyes, but they're like, they see visions of the all-encompassing. Because You believe in God, you believe in a deity who is good, you believe in order or a being of light. I believe for me, there is really something like that. Because I can tell you, there's so much weird stuff going on underneath the blanket of the world or whatever, that there has to be something to balance it. It's good. And when I was at my lowest with this terrible evil thing that came after me, I knew in my heart that once you would be baptized, it was whatever this, but Mama Mary and God would be powerful enough to stop it. And I know it's really weird, and
no, not at all.
It doesn't. Yeah, and I knew it in my heart. And once we had her baptized, it really dropped off. Like, I don't know if it was like a panacea or psychological on my end, but the things following me around stopped following me. So,
but would you still get messengers?
Oh yeah, I had so many, and I continuously, like, okay, when you're opening your third eye or when you're exploring all that stuff with your third eye, if you're strong enough, somebody will come to you and tell you to stop it.
Really?
And that person will be some random person, someone you never even know, never even met, never even knew, and they'll just come up to you and say, "Whatever you're doing, stop it." And then they'll feel away, and you'll be like, "What?"
Right?
Because like, if you're very, very powerful, or your third eye is very, very open, you're very aware of like the network of the people around you. I think. So I'm not that. I can help sometimes, but I have to be very aware of it to help you. And most of the time, I'm pretty wrapped up in whatever I'm going through, so I'm not really good at it. Although I did help someone recently. She posted on social media that she was attacked by something, and she just thought it was a ghost. But like, from her post, I was like, no. Then I messaged her, and it was.
It wasn't? Like, when it's not a ghost, what is it usually?
So I'm Catholic, it's definitely Persian.
Right.
Yeah.
And so like, you can usually tell the difference between?
Not really. I'm not. The demons are persistent, and I've had the good fortune never to really encounter one. These are very hard to shake off. Mostly because we don't do those, spiritual summonings. It's really like,
I mean, it's really interesting. Like, really early on in the conversation, you even mentioned like this thing we used to do as kids, which is like spirit of the ball pen. And I mean, like, as kids, none of us really took that stuff seriously. Like, you're all playing it like, when am I going to meet my crush? And then the ball pen goes up or like whatever, or left or right. We all thought nothing of it, but like, you're actually saying that that's something that could be serious?
I don't know, but my mom just like spanked me, I think, when I was doing it. like it was for her a very serious matter. So
I guess like, no matter how light it seems, if it's like a little, like when you open a door, if it's just like a little crack.
Yeah, it will come in. And when I was a teenager, I had like this whole weird altar with like a Buddha and a cross and crystals and Wicca stuff. I was heavily into Wicca for like a semester. Maybe 2 years. No, not a semester, maybe about 2 or 3 years, I think, where I was mostly inspired by the craft. Okay.
Sure. It was a very formative movie for all of us.
Yeah. And I would have my tarot read all the time, and I would, I don't know, it's just the thing you go through where you're like spiritually seeking a lot of things. But even through all of this, whatever stuff, what was consistent with us and with my family and with the third eye that we have is really, it's just ghosts. Like, it's always going to be ghosts. To the point where whenever I rent an apartment, I go there first and I won't rent it if I feel like there's a ghost.
Right.
Like, I have to.
It's part of your requirements.
Yeah. Because like, There's nothing worse than living with the spirit of the night. When you're apartment hunting with my boyfriend, there's one house where we went in and we both looked at each other and we were like,
Nah.
hell to the no.
Right.
It felt like an evil cackle the moment we entered the house. Like something was rubbing its fingers in anticipation.
That food.
Yeah, and then on the way out, the key got stuck. The key to the door. It got stuck in the door and it didn't want to come out.
Like but the door was open or was it locked?
You're closing it. You're locking the key and you're trying to remove it and it didn't like to come out. I mean, it's just a little thing.
It wanted you to stay?
I guess. No. I was like, hell no, I went to the bar.
It's like, you can keep your key.
Yeah. I mean, if you have these little feelings where it's bad, it's a bad place, there's something bad, it's normally your intuition and telling you. Like, I've had people come to our house and not like, they feel bad. I've had people leave. Well, not just that guy, but another friend left the house too. I never stayed here again because she had troubled experiences when she was a guest. Although our Airbnb, if you run one, we never really had complaints that I know.
That's really good to hear because I've been planning to like go there and then all this stuff with the world happened. So, I mean, that's kind of put on indefinite pause. But it's really good to hear that, there's not generally nothing there in your Airbnb.
Yeah. I told you my scariest encounters, like the bathroom guy, through and a few other little things like the ones in my office, but it's not like an everyday thing for me. I because I don't seek it out, especially not anymore. But I still get the heebie-jeebies a lot, and sometimes even for our own house, I close my eyes and I say, wait, not now, or I tell them to shut up.
I'm busy.
Yeah, or I play really loud music because sometimes there's just that feeling in your soul. You have that tingle up the spine, or for me, it's when the hair on my arms, right? Like, it rises. Not the back of my neck, it's really my arms. So it's really it's not a good way to. I would have been okay with not ever really having it, even though it's a colorful history. But like my dad, the ghost can be right beside him.
Just be like, what?
Well, recently, because we have a knocking ghost.
The pounding on the door ghost.
No, that's a different one. This one knocks on different doors. This ghost will usually do it if you're alone in the living room where I am right now. And it finally, after 60 plus years, happened to my dad. And nagpakanyaw siya. I don't know if you know what that is.
No.
Kanyaw is you have like, it's an Igorot tradition or a Cordilleran tradition where you sacrifice a pig.
Okay.
You do it for like good luck or to appease the spirits before you open a business, or it's a traditional. Sorry to the Cordillerans. I'm not.
It's like when people are doing construction, like offer a chicken or something.
Yeah, which we always do in our house. So my dad had a kanya because he got freaked out because he was alone in the house and someone was knocking on the window or the door or something. So,
whereas if this had happened to your mom, she was like,
shut up. My mom would have been like, quiet, I'm watching TV.
Don't get in the way.
Yeah, I'll never forget her running out and saying, you let the spirit in. Because like we were worried about it. My sister and I, we talked about it, I think. But I would worry about it. What if the spirit is hovering around in our house? Trapped forever.
Did anything ever come out of that? Like, did your mom like do anything to fix it, or like let the spirit out, or not to your knowledge, maybe?
No, my mom always before that as long as you're baptized and you're like okay, strong in whatever you do, you won't have a problem. Like whenever you watch a horror movie where a family moves into a house and something haunted, she said,
Yeah.
I bet you're not baptized. I bet you're not Catholic. I bet you're not baptized. Like, okay.
Well, I mean, that is an awful lot of stories. Thank you so much.
Sorry.
No, this
Sorry,
is actually really good. No, don't worry. This is like, I mean, it's a really interesting learning experience hearing from someone with a very different experience from you. Like, I myself, I don't have a third eye. I don't want a third eye. Like, I mean, there are stories of me as a kid and my mom telling me like, oh, you used to talk to things, or like you used to like see things that weren't there. And just like hearing those stories growing up, like it was a very active no, thank you. So, I mean, if I did have one, maybe I was pretty successful in closing it off. And like, I kind of like to imagine it like closed, boarded shut with like buried under cement situation. I mean, I love hearing about these stories because it's like an all in good fun. But at the end of the day, no, thank you.
I agree. But most children are pretty susceptible, pretty open. Because by the nature of just being a child, you're just more open to stuff. I think. Although, like, well, I we can have a part two if I figure out if my daughter decides to have one. Lol.
Mm-hmm. Like 10 years from now, if this podcast is still around.
Yeah.
Anyway. Hi. Yeah, thank you so much. Hi, darling. Well, anyway, thank you so much again for joining us tonight, RM. This has been Grimcast Manila with your host, Antoinette. You can find more episodes on Spotify, iTunes, Google Podcasts, and YouTube, and basically anywhere you get your podcasts. You can also find us on Facebook at facebook.com/GrimcastManila. As like a final note, RM, is there anything you want to share that's going on with you to the good people of the internet? What are you up to? Like you mentioned earlier, you were writing a thing. Like what's going on with you? If there's anything you'd like to put out there.
Well, not really. My old bandmate and I are recording our old stuff, so that might make an appearance someday. But nothing really active. I'm too busy being a mom and working.
Fair enough.
Nah.
Boring. That's what you're up to. Raising human life.
The care and feeding of a child.
Fair enough. So Grimcast Manila is a podcast of creepy stories from around the metro and is produced, recorded, and distributed by Big Baby Studios. Find out more about our other shows on Big Baby at itsabigbaby.com or facebook.com/BigBabyStudios. Thanks for joining us for this episode, and we'll catch you next time.